Hello, everybody. I hope everybody has had a good Tuesday. Sorry I put this off from yesterday. This is a good topic to talk about, but it's one that if I'm not in a good mood, I don't think the message is received the best. And I wasn't really in a good mood yesterday, so I wanted to put today's discussion off, well, rather yesterday's discussion off to today, just to make sure that I was in a good, positive state of mind to talk about positive affirmations. It wasn't like a bad day or anything. I just wasn't having a good day. Nothing specific happened, so I wasn't in a positive mood, so I didn't think it would benefit you guys or even myself to try and talk about positive affirmations if I wasn't in a good mood. So that's why I put it off, just being transparent with you guys, but I'm in a lot better mood today, and I want to hope everybody else is in a good mood, and if not, we can talk about positive affirmations, what it is, kind of give some of them that you can find online and ways to practice this. But before we get into it, I'm going to say hi to everybody who's here. I appreciate everybody who has joined. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl P. Hey, Tutu Queen. Hey, the Dark Magician. Almost got it wrong again. Hey, Tutu Queen. Hey, Susan. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody, like I have said probably 3 times now, has had a good day. I've had a pretty good day. It's been pretty eventful, and those are always good days to me. Hey, E, how are you doing? Don't let the thumbs down get to you guys. It doesn't bother me at all. As I always say, not everybody's going to like me, and that's okay. Some people like to show their dislike or unsupportiveness by leaving a thumbs down. It's totally fine. The algorithm doesn't see any different, so doesn't bother me at all. Hey, Sue M, how are you doing? I feel like it has been forever since I have done a stream. So I know it really hasn't been that long, but it just seems that way to me for some reason. Sue, you love your thumbs down fans. I mean, if that's their way of, letting us know that they don't like us, all right. It's there for a reason. It doesn't bother me none. I don't let that kind of stuff get to me. So, hey, Louise. So, today's discussion, last week I did not actually put out a poll because I had positive affirmations for the last 2 weeks as a voting choice. And it did vote pretty high in the rankings, but they kept getting overshot. And a few people have left comments and have reached out to me and said that they believe talking about positive affirmations would be good for them. And we can't always, for me, I want to kind of find a good solid medium between talking about really hard, serious topics and still talking about some real topics that bring more positivity. So I just decided not to run a poll this week and just to go with one that had gotten quite a bit of attention, but just didn't outshine the others. So that's why this week on Friday, I will have a poll out. I'm not sure what topic discussions I will include. As always, if you guys have any suggestions, leave them in the comments, either on this video or on the community post, whatever you're comfortable with. Hey, 3 Mama, how are you? It's beautiful out and you got a lot of yard work done. It's been pretty nice where I'm at as well. So we did yard work over the weekend. So I definitely understand that. So positive affirmations, if you don't know what positive affirmations is or are, it's a thought process. And it's actually talked about in different forms of therapy. to help your self-esteem. The Wikipedia definition, when you Google it, I have it over to the side here, are affirmations in New Thought and New Age terminology refer primarily to practice of positive thinking and self-empowerment, fostering a belief that a positive mental attitude supported by affirmations will achieve success in anything. So positive affirmations, it's kind of like what you put out into your thought is what's going to happen. So if you wake up kind of like I did yesterday, I woke up kind of in a really rocky mood, and I let myself feed into that a little bit. I let myself kind of be grumpy, kind of have like a negative viewpoint, kind of like a complaining day, which we all have them. And positive affirmations is the opposite of that, where you think positively of yourself, you empower yourself. Oftentimes when people practice this, you try to do it daily. It's like a daily practice where you are uplifting yourself, showing yourself that you're worthy, showing yourself that you can accomplish whatever you set your mind to, and giving yourself the confidence to follow through with that. I believe Peter Mon does this on his Peterisms channel, or at least he used to. I haven't watched much of his content lately just to being too busy, but I know it was a pretty big staple on his Peterisms channel where he would read his positive affirmations and kind of talk with you guys about whatever, or his audience rather, about whatever passage he had read and the ones that resonated with him. And I hope he's still doing that, because when I was able to engage with his content all the time, it was a very positive experience. And it's a positive way of thinking about yourself and helping you overcome any barriers that you're having with yourself, whether it's your appearance or your motivation or your patience. If there's any part of yourself that you are wanting to work on and you're wanting to encourage to be better, you can almost find a positive affirmation to help yourself start that way of thinking, that you are worthy, you can do this, you are beautiful no matter what your size is, no matter what the size of the scale or your pants are, you're always worthy of something. And it's a way of thinking. And people who practice positive affirmations will talk about it does not help in long term if you just do it for 1 or 2 days. So if you practice it for 1 or 2 days and you don't continue it, you may fall back. It's learning how to integrate that into your daily life. His name is Peter Mon. He has a commentary drama channel, but he also has several other channels, and one of them is his Peterisms channel, and that's where he talks about positive affirmations. It's also where he talks about his recovery quite a bit. He just talks about struggles and how he deals with them. It's a very positive channel. You love to do positive affirmations. You've gotten a lot out of doing them lately and you want to bring them back. Yeah, it's something that I feel from my experience, if you feel that you don't want to do them or you're not taking the time to do them, you slip back more into different styles of thinking. And I'll be the first to admit that I kind of have a pessimistic view on things. I always, and I think I've talked about this recently, I always kind of think of the absolute worst. That way I'm not surprised when the absolute worst happens and I'm prepared to deal with the absolute worst. It's not the best way of thinking, and that's why I really started to engage with positive affirmations. But it always for me is something that I struggle with routines. I'm very bad, especially now that I work from home. I'm very bad about having a solid routine. And I lately have been trying to reintegrate, like having some positive affirmations with myself in the morning, and trying when I start to see myself struggling or getting frustrated with work or something's not working the way I want, to take a step back and to think positively, think about the better outcomes than the worst ones. Hey, Terry. Hey, Spirit Soul. Thank you, Sue, for linking that channel. Hey, Dr. Addiction. How is everybody doing? Sorry, I'm drinking some water. Hopefully that's not gonna bother anybody. So a couple of examples, and this is literally like one of the first links that pulls up when you Google positive affirmations, is today I am brimming with energy and overflowing with joy. So it's, what is that? Self-fulfilling prophecy. It's kind of like that, where you just think it into existence almost. So even like yesterday, I probably could have woken up and instead of allowing myself to be grumpy and grouchy and complaining all day, I could have tried to change my mindset into, nope, I'm not going to go down that route. I'm going to be happy today. Today's going to be a great day. This is what I'm going to do to fulfill my day and make me happier. Some other ones on here is I am superior to negative thoughts and low actions. I have been given endless talents, which I begin to utilize today. So those are just a few examples. You can search up specific forms of positive affirmations if you are struggling with a specific thing. If you're struggling with self-esteem, you can look up self-esteem positive affirmations. If you're struggling with weight, you can look those up. Anything that you may be struggling with, you can put into Google and put positive affirmations, and you're likely to come to an article or a list that people have put together to counteract the negative thinking and to help you start thinking of yourself in a different light. Working from home takes a lot of discipline and time management. It does. I kind of work sporadically through the day and all through the night because a lot of the work that I do, there's waiting periods between epoxy drying and curing. I have to find time to do other things for the business. As I waited, I sat here and made a keychain for my mom for Mother's Day. So hopefully she doesn't watch this and sees it before she comes. So let's do this, right, Dr. Addiction? So, I mean, a lot of people, and myself included, like I said, I do try to practice this, but I am not the best at always practicing it. And I have noticed I've probably been practicing positive affirmations for maybe the last year, like actually practicing it, where I try to think of positive things and fill my thoughts with positive thoughts rather than negative thoughts. And for me, I tend to, when it comes to like work stuff and relationships, I tend to, how do I verbalize it? I tend to self-sabotage. And I don't do it intentionally all the time, but say that I get into an argument with somebody. It could be over something ridiculous, but my feelings are legitimately hurt. I am legitimately hurt by, even if it was super petty and for some reason my feelings got really, really hurt. Rather than sit there and think of the positive aspects of the friendship or the relationship, I will automatically just shut it down. Be like, nope, I'm done. I need a break. And some of that is boundaries. Some of it is me being stubborn. Some of it is just my personality traits. But a lot of it is me thinking way too much into things and just assuming situations and assuming the other person's thoughts and the other person's processes. And if you don't have somebody if you're not in an argument with somebody who's good at communicating back, it can exacerbate an issue. Luckily, most of the time when I get to those states, it tends to be with family and close friends. I'll, be petty and say, oh, I'm not going to talk to you for a while. And then one of us breaks down and we end up talking to each other and we talk it out. We talk about from where each person was coming from and their standpoint, and then we move on. But for some of that, I know it could be avoided on my behalf if I didn't allow myself to consume with the negative aspect and the negative thinking of what started that argument or what started, the dissonance. If I thought about the positive things and the happiness that the relationship brings me, no matter what kind of relationship it is, it's likely that I wouldn't get to the point. Sometimes am I going to do that anyways? Absolutely, because it's just part of my personality, unfortunately. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Dina. How are you guys? Hey, Jen. Dana, do you have, I think Dana, geez, I'm sorry. I think Dana has a video premiering now or here soon, don't you? What do you guys do for positive affirmations? Or is it something that you have thought about? Have you thought about it before? Have you ever practiced positive affirmations? What are your experiences with this topic? I'm sorry, my throat is really dry. The dry summer here, I'm still adjusting to getting used to it. It's only my second summer here. I'm used to humidity and dampness, which I know a lot of people don't like, but I actually prefer that weather since I grew up in it and I lived in it for so long. And adjusting to the dry climate here is a struggle. It's over. I'm sorry. I missed it. I thought it was at 4, and it's hard to schedule around everybody else. You don't do it, but you feel you need to. I think if you have the time, and that's the thing is you really don't even have to put a lot of time into it. It doesn't have to be something that you speak outwardly. It does assist to speak it outwardly, but you can do it internally. Set an alarm on your phone and just make sure you have a list to go to, or you can save an article and go through them. I could go through this entire list. This one has 35. And there's things for all kinds. Here's another one. My ability to conquer my challenges is limitless. My potential to succeed is infinite. So that you could relate that to your work life, your home life, any kind of situation. Another one is I am courageous and I stand up for myself. Today, I abandon my old habits and take up new, more positive ones. I mean, there's ones, these are very generic and like not geared towards any specific thing. But if there's something in particular that you struggle with, like I said earlier, you can look up positive affirmations for that specific thing. Hey, Jody. Thank you for being here. I think everybody could use positive affirmations no matter what, because it's only what bad is going to come from a positive affirmation? A lot of it is if you want to practice this and actually, I don't know if that's the right terminology. If you want to practice it, you do have to integrate it pretty often into your routine. That way it changes your way of thinking. That's the whole premise behind positive affirmation thinking, is you change your perception of how you outwardly view things. It changes your perception for yourself, to self-empower, to have the courage, to have the confidence. And if you don't do it regularly, you are kind of engaging in positive affirmations, but not to the point where it's a practice. And people who regularly engage in positive affirmations and change their way of thinking into a more positive viewpoint are people who practice it regularly. You call it manifesting on the move. That's a good way to think of it. You set mantras daily that apply to your current difficulty and you repeat them throughout the day. That's exactly what people who actively engage in positive affirmations, that's how they talk about it. Writing out short daily goals can be great for daily positive affirmations to return throughout the day. Absolutely. It seems like when you need it, something pops up for you to do. It's like the universe is saying, hey, look, Jen, look at the nice things instead of the nasty things. I mean, and as people, I feel like we tend, especially in the technological environment and society that we're growing up in, there is a lot of negativity, a lot of toxicity, even being painted as being great and glorious and being masked. Negativity is being masked as positivity. Performative activism is also, you know, a masking of some not so clear intentions. It's hard when our society is like that to really change your way of thinking, your way of thought. You stuck a sticky note on your bathroom mirror that says you're a good person and you deserve good things. Absolutely. That is what I have seen professionals kind of encourage people to do. And when I was doing casework, it is something that I encourage for my clients when they were struggling with things, is to have something that you see, put a Post-it somewhere that you see every day, that you know you're going to see every day, and you may even see multiple times a day, to remind yourself of whatever it is that they're working on. It's a good way to start that line of thinking continuously. I don't think anybody does positive affirmations perfectly, because we're human. You know, humans aren't perfect. We all make mistakes. We all engage in crappy behavior from time to time. You used to do it faithfully during the beginning of your recovery. Yeah, it's one of those things that I believe is used pretty heavily whenever you're struggling with stuff like that. Sorry if my backdrop moves. My husband's not home yet, so I left the door open and the dogs are in here. So, hey, High Priestess, how are you? I don't think you're the crazy yoga lady, Dina. I always mess your name up. It's a struggle to practice it regularly sometimes. Yeah, and I think that's a common struggle. It is for me. Like I said, you know, I'll go a couple of days, and I've gone longer periods of time without it. When I was really trying to get into this positive thinking, I actually would put a reminder on my phone. Like, I would set an alarm that would say, like, look at my, stop. Really? Sorry, they're laying right behind me, so there's really not a lot of space back here. I would set a reminder on my phone that would say, look at your notes, or I would try to set in my alarms a positive affirmation throughout the day. I would do it a couple of days in advance, if not longer than that, while I started to get into positive affirmations. You're a pretty positive person and consider yourself confident, but lately you've had some weak moments. I'm able to redirect my thoughts, and your faith plays into that a lot, to be honest. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever works for you, it may work for somebody else, it may not. So what makes us individuals is not everything in every situation is going to be the same for someone else. That's why I say if you look up just positive affirmations and none of them speak to you, none of them resonate with you, and there's something very specific that you're struggling with, then I encourage you to do some research with whatever it is you're struggling with, up in front of the word positive affirmations. Hey, Beauty Demon. Speak it out loud first thing in the morning. Yeah, that helps a lot with people. Absolutely no one is perfect. And I think a lot of like the toxicity and negativity in society today are celebrities and people who are held to high regard are viewed as if they're perfect. And the reality is we don't know those people for real. We know what they portray. We don't know them for real. And if they're a YouTuber or an influencer and they kind of share parts of their lives, we have to understand they're only sharing parts of their lives. They're only sharing what they want to share. And if they have a large platform, they are probably editing out stuff. And that, I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm just saying people look up to celebrities, people of high status, people who have wealth, and think that because they have wealth and because they have all of these materialistic, nice things, that their life is perfect. When, if you really think about it, their life is far from perfect most of the time. And I find that these individuals are the ones who struggle the most with self-awareness and accountability when they are faced in controversy. I mean, we see it time and time again on social media platforms. This is a technique that really does work. Look in the mirror and say, you are worthy, you are kind, you are beautiful, you are smart, and you are worth it. That's a very good common one that hits like almost every tier that people could be struggling with. I say out loud positive affirmations, but sometimes it's the internal that's the hardest. You're good at having a front. A lot of people are, and that's not anything to feel bad about or feel less than because of that. We're going to have bad days. We're people. Like I said, we're not perfect. We're people. We're going to have bad days. We have emotions. Sometimes life just sucks, and that's the truth. Sometimes life is shitty. We are thrown a ton of stresses, especially now with like everything going on with COVID and like the society, the world really trying to cope with COVID and move on from it and find solutions for it and the problems that COVID brought up in society. It's a really hard world right now. And even the most positive people on the planet are going to have bad days, and that's okay. It's okay to struggle. There's absolutely nothing wrong with struggling with anything, any facet, any part of life. We all struggle with different things throughout our lives. We all may take, you may take something that is a positive affirmation and be so true to you, and it might not be a positive affirmation for me. It might not be something that I resonate with. Sorry for my backdrop moving. Got a large dog laying behind me. Thank you. Thank you, Beauty Demon. I've had a lot of people comment on this set that I did. I probably should have filmed it due to all of the compliments that I got. I believe, and I've said this before, I don't remember who it was. It was either, I believe it was a nail technician on TikTok who did a similar effect. Theirs turned out a whole heck of a lot better than mine did. But what I did was I painted my nail black, and then I put a matte gel top coat over it so it was matte, and then I put white nail polish on, and then I used the alcohol watercolor nail polishes to get the color change, and then just white dots, and then I did just a normal glossy top coat. I've had these on for a week. If you've ever seen any of my nail videos or hear me talk about them, I do not really like having my nails this long. They might not even look that long to most people, but I usually have them right above my natural nail, which is like right there. I usually wear them relatively short, but to do this effect, I needed to have more space. So I didn't even cut off any of the length of my tips because I just use gel full cover tips. And I've had them on for a week. They're solid. They're not going anywhere on their own, but they are starting to bother me a little bit. which is why I typically have my nails shorter, because they start to bother me, the pressure. And I'm not, even though I do my nails and stuff like that, I'm not easy on my nails or my hands. So we'll see if I can ride these out until they come off. Probably not with any full cover set that I do. I've talked about it before. I typically end up taking them off before they're ready to come off. I could probably wear these for a solid month, but my nails grow really quickly. Like you can already, at least on my thumb, you can really see my nail growth already. So we'll see. We'll see how long they stay on. You toy with the idea of journaling or doing 3 things you're happy about, something positive that happened in your day before, instead of thinking of all the bad things. That's a good way to kind of retrain your mind to think positively as well. You do polygel. I've tried polygel and it's a mess. I know it's a relatively, and I'm not trying to knock anybody who does it because clearly I can't, but I know the process is relatively easy, but I can't. I've tried. The first 2 sets of nails I ever did on my own, like a year and a half ago when I started doing my own nails, were polygel. And the problem ended up being I couldn't get them off. And that was not good. And then I tried it again and they didn't, then the second set didn't last at all. And then I found the full cover tips and I've been using those since. I still have a lot of polygel stuff. In the set before this, I actually tried to use my polygel again and it didn't go well. I did like 2 nails and they were atrocious. So I took them off. Maybe one day I'll sit down and try to relearn that process, because you can come out with some really pretty looks with polygel. I am not an artist by any means. I really don't have a whole lot of creativity when it comes to like art, like creating your own art. I take a lot of inspiration for like this look. I wish I remembered where I saw the video so I could link it. But then you guys would really see the injustice I did. But I follow a lot of YouTubers and TikTokers who are like nail technicians or people who have been doing their own nails for a very long time, and I draw inspiration from them. No problem, Nikki. I hope you have a good rest of your evening. I appreciate that. I've had a lot of compliments on this set of nails, and I think it's probably because it's more flashy than what I usually wear. I usually wear pretty basic nail sets, but that's okay. It suits my fancy. You're doing stiletto forms right now and you're mixing your own colors with neon pigments. Oh, that sounds beautiful. The only style that I like is square or coffin. Whenever it gets the pointy ones, like the stilettos or what are those? Even the almond shape. What's the other shape where it's pretty pointy? I'm not very subtle with my hands or anything, so I would end up hurting myself. I might even end up hurting my husband has me scratch his back all the time, so I might, if I had a set like that, I would probably end up scratching him and cutting him. You wish you could have long nails. You just break them so easily. The dogs are going to go out of here. My husband's home. Eagle talon claw. Yeah, they're just so sharp. And I'm not delicate by any means. I'm extremely clumsy, and I'm the type of person who trips on their own feet. I can't walk and drink at the same time. I definitely can't walk and eat at the same time. So considering that, think of somebody like that with super sharp nails. It would not, I would end up hurting myself probably. Can you shut my door? I think he heard me. He's just not going to say anything. Sorry if you guys can hear the Paisley dog happy talking now that her dad's home. She's a daddy's girl. You wore them before. It was cool to wear them. I think they look pretty. Like, I think the aesthetic of them is so beautiful. I couldn't. You love the wolf so you guys can hear her. Yeah, it's like the only time she talks to us is when we come home or whenever we like get her excited and are playing with her. That's the only time she ever really does that. Other than that, she's a pretty quiet husky. Thank you. He shut my door. You guys probably can still hear her. Once your nails get to a certain length, they drive you crazy. Your fingertips start to hurt from all the typing and keyboard. Yeah, I get, and it's not even it's because I'm not gentle with my hands or with myself. I will start jamming the tips of the nails into stuff, and then it hurts like down here. It hurts down in that part, and then it hurts where your nail actually meets your finger. That's where mine start to get sore, and that's kind of where I'm at already, and I've only had these on for a little bit over a week. I'm going to try and just leave them because I don't want to damage my nails, and I think I've probably admitted this before, but I rarely actually soak these off. Typically, one or two will pop off, and then I'll just rip the other ones off. Occasionally, I've soaked them off a few times. Honestly, it boils down to patience. I don't have the patience for that. I typically take my e-file and I will get down as close as I can to the gel tip, and sometimes I will even allow like a little bit of the remnants to stay on my nail, and it doesn't seem to interfere at all. You jam your fingernails all the time and break or tear them because it's just your my natural nails they grow really quick, but they don't grow very thick. So they're always kind of like, I can grow them out a pretty decent length, but they're flimsy. And I've tried just doing like gel top coat. And when I used to get my nails done, I even tried like an acrylic overlay, and they just don't stick. So for me, it's either that I wear full covers or I don't have any nails on. And usually I try to go a couple of days to a week or two in between my nail sets, which this last time I think I went a week and a half before I put these on. So, does anybody else have any other comments or thoughts about our topic tonight of positive affirmations? I always tend to get off topic at the end of these. Like I said, there's you can just put it into Google or really any search engine, positive affirmations, and come up with some. And if you're struggling with a specific thing where you feel you need to change your thought process to a more positive thought, you can put that in front of positive affirmation, and you're likely to get lists just related to that specific area. Doing your nails is self-care. I mean, it's definitely time to myself, but I have to be in the right mood. Like, for me, it's all a patience thing. I have hardly any patience when it comes to stuff like this, so that's often why I'll go a couple of days in between my sets, if not longer, is because if I don't have the patience to sit there and do them, then I don't enjoy doing it. And even then, I wouldn't really say that I get a lot of joy out of the actual act of doing my nails. I like them once they're done. And this actually doing my nails doesn't take me that long. It takes me about an hour. This set probably took me an hour and a half to 2 hours because of all the different steps I had to take. You're always reading and shuffling cards, so you try to make them strong, but still pretty for your clients. Otherwise, you wouldn't care. Well, that's nice that you're thinking of your clients in how you do your nails. It takes you a few days to finish. I did acrylic like 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago now. My perception of time is atrocious. It was either 2 or 3 months ago. I did an acrylic set with the white French tip, and that took me 2 days. And I really enjoyed them and how they came out. And I want to play with acrylic more, but there is such a huge learning curve when it comes to acrylic. And even though I got a monomer that is not supposed to be like extremely scented, I did get the safe monomer, not the MMA kind, the other kind that's good. But it still fumigated my house and it gave my husband a headache. So I typically, when I do my nails, I do them at night, which is when he's home. Usually we're watching a movie or TV, or he's playing a video game, and I'll sit at our coffee table and do them. But I think we are just about done. It doesn't seem to be any more conversation around positive affirmations. So I think I am going to end this, even though like the last 5 to 10 minutes has been about nails. Sorry for anybody who watches this on the replay and doesn't care about nail stuff. My plan is, just so you guys, I try to always give you guys a heads up for content coming this week. I have a video coming up that's going to go live tomorrow, where I'm at a crossroads with something. And I don't want to spoil the video tomorrow, but I'm really at a crossroads and I'm kind of just talking to you guys about that. So there's that video coming out, and then either probably Thursday, I'm going to go live and play with the Natasha Denona Glam palette. My sister actually purchased this for me for my birthday, and I think it came yesterday, but I didn't see it until today. I haven't even swatched it. I've just opened it. So I'm excited to play with this, but I want to play with it on a live as like a first impression. So this is just sitting in the box over here. I doubt I'll do it tomorrow, so it'll probably be either Thursday or Friday. And then I'm going to start, I believe, I should preface with I believe I'm going to start integrating doing the open discussions on Mondays. Those will pretty much remain unless something pops up to where I reschedule it. And then I think I'm going to start integrating Fridays as like a recap where we can talk about any topics that I made videos about that week or previous weeks, where we can just kind of openly talk about whatever concern you have, whether it's about a particular YouTuber or a particular situation, even stuff that I don't cover. If you guys want to talk about it, it'll just be like kind of like a weekly wrap up. But I know a lot of people are kind of using that as their title. So I'm probably not going to title it that. But I'm going to think of something to name those where we like recap. I might just name it like weekly recap, where we recap any dramas or any happenings of that week that you guys want to talk about, including any content that I've made. And this Friday, I think is going to be the first Friday I do that. And I'm probably going to keep it centered around a couple of different topics. One will probably be Ashley. One's going to be about that. I also want to talk about the little taste stuff. I don't want to film a video about it because it would be a very, very short video, and I'd rather just kind of talk openly with you guys about my thoughts on that situation, which I actually don't think people are going to be I think people might be surprised what my take, in my opinion, of that situation is. And then whatever else, we can talk about the James Charles stuff. I uploaded a video today about that, and anything else that may pop up or that I may make a video on this week. And then I think I'm going to kind of reserve Saturdays and Sundays as days off, and maybe like random spare content will fall on those days. So that's kind of the direction I'm going for my content moving forward, just so you guys kind of have an idea of what to expect from me moving forward. But with all of that being said, you've been calling those internet BS on your channel. I mean, some of it is, but some of it is a pretty serious stuff. So you know what I mean? But I am going to head off of here. I need to go make dinner. So I appreciate everybody hanging out. Remember, if you want to start incorporating positive affirmations into your routine, just Google Google just the simple positive affirmations, and you'll get a lot of articles listing those. Also, like I said, Peter Mon has his Peterisms channel, and I could be mistaken that he doesn't do those anymore, but I feel like he probably still does, because it was a large part of that content on that channel. So if you're needing some enlightenment kind of content, go to his Peterisms channel. But with all of that being said, I hope you guys have a good day, evening, or night, wherever you guys are. And until next time, bye guys.